Subject: Creative Arts Grade 4. Strand 1.0 Creating and Execution. Substrand 1.1 Picture Making. Percussion Instruments. Objectives: By the end of the substrand, the learner should be able to A. Classify indigenous Kenyan percussion instruments as melodic and non-melodic. B. Make a percussion instrument using locally available materials. C. Improvise charcoal sticks using locally available resources for drawing. D. Draw a percussion instrument using the smudging technique. E. Appreciate percussion instruments from different Kenyan communities. Kenyan indigenous percussion instruments. Percussion instruments are a family of musical instruments that produce sound by being struck, shaken, or scraped. These instruments are an essential component of various musical genres and are known for their rhythmic and dynamic qualities. Percussion instruments can be classified into several categories based on how they produce sound and their physical characteristics. Melodic percussion instruments. 1. Marimba. Key features and information about the marimba. 1. Bars. The marimba's bars are typically made of wood, such as rosewood or synthetic materials, and they are mounted on a frame. The bars are arranged in a graduated fashion, meaning they vary in length, with the longer bars producing lower pitches and the shorter bars producing higher pitches. 2. Resonators. Beneath each bar, there are resonators, usually made of metal tubes or pipes. These resonators amplify and sustain the sound produced when the bars are struck. 3. Mallets. The marimba is played with mallets, which are usually made of rubber or other soft materials on the striking end. Musicians strike the bars with the mallets to produce sound. 4. Range. Marimbas come in various sizes, and the number of bars determines the instrument's range. The standard range for a concert marimba spans 4 octaves, though larger instruments with extended ranges exist. 5. Pedals. Some marimbas have resonator damping pedals, allowing players to control the sustain and decay of the notes by raising or lowering the dampers. How to make marimba? Materials needed. 1. Wood for the bars, rosewood or another resonant hardwood. 2. Wood for the frame, hardwood such as oak or maple. 3. Resonator tubes, metal or PVC. 4. Mallets. 5. Adhesives, wood glue, epoxy. 6. Wood screws. 7. Tuning tools, files, sandpaper, etc. Steps. 1. Design and planning. Decide on the size and range of your marimba. Create a detailed plan that includes the dimensions of the bars, resonators, and frame. 2. Prepare the bars. Cut the wooden bars to the required lengths based on your design. Shape the bars to the desired width, thickness, and contour. This step is crucial for achieving proper pitch and resonance. 3. Tuning the bars. Use tuning tools such as files and sandpaper to carefully tune each bar to the desired pitch. This involves removing material from specific areas to achieve the correct frequency. 4. Prepare the frame. Cut and assemble the frame using hardwood. Ensure the frame is sturdy and well constructed to support the weight of the bars and resonators. 5. Attach the bars. Secure the bars to the frame in the correct order, ensuring they are evenly spaced and aligned. Use wood glue and screws for a strong bond. 6. Add resonators. Attach the resonator tubes beneath each bar. The length of each tube corresponds to the pitch of the bar it is associated with. Experimentation and tuning adjustments may be necessary. 7. Fine-tuning. Fine-tune the entire instrument by adjusting the resonator length and making any necessary changes to the bar contours. 8. Test and adjust. Play the marimba and make further adjustments as needed to achieve the desired tone and pitch. This may involve tweaking the resonators or making minor modifications to the bars. 9. Finish. Apply a finish to the wood for protection and aesthetics. 10. Mallets. Create or acquire mallets suitable for your marimba. Mallet design can affect the instrument's overall sound. Remember that building a marimba requires precision and attention to detail. It's advisable to use detailed plans or seek guidance from experienced instrument builders. Our second category of percussion instruments is the non-melodic percussion instruments. Look at the pictures below. On the left of your screen is a picture of a god, and on the right we have shakers. Non-melodic percussion instruments. 1. Aisikuti. The aisikuti is a traditional drum associated with the Luya people. It is a non-melodic percussion instrument played with hands and is often used in ceremonies and celebrations. On your screen you can be able to see 3 more non-melodic percussion instruments. On the left of your screen we have the triangle, on the left we have the clappers, and below these we have the shakers. 4. Drums and ngoma. Various drums, such as the ngoma drum, are commonly used in Kenyan music. These drums, played with hands or sticks, contribute to the rhythmic foundation of the music. Different regions and communities may have their specific types of drums. 5. Kayamba. The kayamba is a percussion instrument made from a frame with small wooden or metal slats. It is played by shaking or striking the slats together, providing rhythmic accompaniment to songs and dances. These instruments, whether melodic or non-melodic, play a crucial role in Kenyan music, helping to convey cultural stories, celebrate traditions, and create vibrant and rhythmic soundscapes. Creating a Kenyan indigenous percussion instrument using locally available materials can be a rewarding and educational experience. Let's look at how to make a simple thumb piano using materials that may be found locally. You can see a picture of a thumb piano below. Materials needed. 1. A flat, sturdy piece of wood, can be a piece of hardwood, plywood, or similar. 2. Metal strips or old metal keys. 3. Small nails or screws. 4. Small pieces of wood for the bridge, this is optional. 5. Glue. 6. Hammer. 7. Saw. 8. Screwdriver or drill, optional. 9. Sandpaper. Steps. 1. Prepare the base. Cut the flat piece of wood to your desired size for the thumb piano. This will be the main body of your instrument. Sand the edges to smooth any rough surfaces. 2. Prepare the metal strips. If you're using old metal keys, cut them to different lengths. Ensure that they are long enough to provide a range of pitches. If you don't have keys, you can use metal strips from recycled materials or metal rods. 3. Arrange the metal strips. Lay out the metal strips or keys on top of the wooden base. Arrange them in order from longest to shortest, with the longer strips towards one end of the base. 4. Attach the metal strips. Secure the metal strips to the wooden base by using small nails or screws. Hammer the nails or screw them through the metal strips into the wood. Make sure they are firmly attached but not so tight that they can't vibrate. 5. Create a bridge, optional. To enhance the instrument sound, you can glue small pieces of wood bridges under each metal strip where it crosses the bass. This allows the metal strips to vibrate freely. Glue them securely. 6th, tune the thumb piano. Experiment with the lengths of the metal strips to achieve different pitches. Longer strips generally produce lower pitches, while shorter strips produce higher pitches. You can adjust the tightness of the nails or screws to fine-tune the instrument. 7. Decorate, optional. You can paint or decorate the wooden base for a personalized touch. Additionally, you may want to finish the wood with varnish or oil to protect it. 8. Play. Pluck the metal strips with your thumbs to produce different notes. Experiment with different finger placements and techniques to create various sounds. Remember to be creative and resourceful with the materials you have on hand. The goal is to create a simple, functional instrument that reflects the spirit of Kenyan indigenous music. How to improvise charcoal sticks using locally available resources for drawing. Improvising charcoal sticks using locally available resources for drawing is a creative and resourceful way to make art materials. Here's a simple guide on how to improvise charcoal sticks. Materials. 1. Willow or vine branches or any other locally available wood. 2. Knife or utility blade. 3. Fire source, optional. 4. Sandpaper, optional. Steps. 1. Select willow or vine branches. Look for willow or vine branches that are straight and have a consistent diameter. These types of wood are commonly used for making improvised charcoal due to their porous nature. 2. Cut the branches. Use a knife or utility blade to cut the branches to your desired length. The length can vary based on personal preference, but a typical charcoal stick is around 6 to 8 inches long. 3. Remove the bark. Strip off the bark from the branches. The bark may interfere with the drawing process, and removing it allows the porous wood underneath to be exposed. 4. Shape the tips. Using the knife, shape one end of the branch to a point. This will be the drawing tip of your improvised charcoal stick. You can make the point more or less defined based on your preference. 5. Optional heat treatment. If you have access to a fire source, you can heat the shaped tips of the branches in the fire for a short time. This process, called charcoaling, can enhance the darkness and quality of the charcoal. Be careful not to overheat and burn the wood. 6. Sandpaper, optional. If you want a smoother surface, you can use sandpaper to refine the shape and texture of the charcoal stick. This step is optional and depends on your preference. 7. Let the charcoal cool. If you used heat treatment, allow the charcoal sticks to cool completely before using them for drawing. 8. Test and use. Test your improvised charcoal sticks on paper to see the range of marks they produce. You can experiment with different pressures and techniques to create a variety of lines and shading. Improvising charcoal sticks using locally available resources allows for a sustainable and eco-friendly approach to art making. It's a great way to connect with the environment and explore the creative possibilities of using natural materials for artistic expression. How to draw a percussion instrument using the smudging technique. The smudging technique involves blending and softening the lines and tones in a drawing using a tool such as a blending stump, tissue, or your fingers. This technique can add a sense of depth and atmosphere to your drawing. Here's a step-by-step guide on how to draw a simple percussion instrument using the smudging technique. Materials. 1. Drawing paper. 2. Pencil for sketching. 3. Eraser. 4. Charcoal or graphite pencil for shading. 5. Blending stump, tissue, or your fingers for smudging. Steps. 1. Sketch the percussion instrument. Begin by lightly sketching the outline of the percussion instrument. You can choose a simple shape like a drum, tambourine, or xylophone. Pay attention to the proportions and details. 2. Shade the instrument. Use a charcoal or graphite pencil to shade the percussion instrument. Start with light. Strokes to establish the general tonal values. Add more pressure to darken areas that should be shadowed. 3. Define highlights and shadows. Identify the light source in your drawing and emphasize highlights by leaving some areas lighter. Darken the areas away from the light source to create shadows. This step will give your percussion instrument a three-dimensional appearance. 4. Begin smudging. Use a blending stump, tissue, or your fingers to start smudging and blending the charcoal or graphite. Start with the lighter areas and work your way into the darker regions. The goal is to create smooth transitions between light and shadow. 5. Refine details. After the initial smudging, use your pencil to redefine any necessary details. Add sharper lines where needed, enhance certain features, and refine the overall shape of the percussion instrument. 6. Continue smudging. Continue smudging and blending until you achieve the desired level of smoothness and atmospheric effect. Be mindful of the direction of the smudges to follow the contours of the instrument. 7. Check values. Regularly step back and assess the tonal values in your drawing. Make adjustments as needed to ensure a balanced and realistic representation of light and shadow. 8. Final touches. Once you're satisfied with the smudging and shading, make any final touches. Erase any unnecessary lines, refine details, and ensure the overall composition is cohesive. 9. Experiment with texture, optional. If your percussion instrument has specific textures, you can experiment with creating them using your drawing tools. For instance, use cross-hatching or stippling for the appearance of certain materials. 10. Protect and display. Consider using a fixative spray to set your drawing and prevent smudging over time. Once it's dry, your percussion instrument drawing is ready for display. Remember, the smudging technique is a versatile tool in drawing, and you can apply it to various subjects, including percussion instruments. Experiment with different levels of pressure, blending tools, and techniques to achieve the desired effects in your drawing. How to draw a drum using the smudging technique. Materials. 1. Drawing paper. 2. Pencil for sketching. 3. Eraser. 4. Charcoal or graphite pencil for shading. 5. Blending stump, tissue, or your fingers for smudging. Steps. 1. Sketch the drum. Start by lightly sketching the outline of the drum. Draw a circle for the drum head and a cylinder for the body of the drum. Add any additional details such as drumsticks or drum stands. 2. Shade the drum. Use a charcoal or graphite pencil to shade the drum. Begin with light strokes to establish the basic tonal values. Consider the direction of your light source and shade accordingly. Pay attention to areas that are in shadow and those that catch the light. 3. Define highlights and shadows. Identify where the light source is coming from. Emphasize highlights on the drum head and areas that catch the light. Darken the opposite side and the areas in shadow, such as the underside of the drum. 4. Start smudging. Begin smudging the charcoal or graphite using a blending stump, tissue, or your fingers. Start with the lighter areas and gradually work your way into the darker regions. Follow the contours of the drum to create a smooth transition between light and shadow. 5. Refine details. After the initial smudging, use your pencil to redefine any necessary details. Add sharper lines where needed, refine the shape of the drum, and enhance any drumstick or stand details. 6. Continue smudging. Keep smudging and blending until you achieve the desired level of smoothness and atmospheric effect. Be mindful of the direction of the smudges to follow the contours of the drum. 7. Check values regularly. Step back and assess the tonal values in your drawing. Make adjustments as needed to ensure a balanced representation of light and shadow. 8. Final touches. Once you're satisfied with the smudging and shading, make any final touches. Erase any unnecessary lines, refine details, and ensure the overall composition is cohesive. 9. Experiment with texture, optional. If your drum has specific textures, experiment with creating them using your drawing tools. For instance, use cross-hatching or stippling for the appearance of drumhead texture. 10. Protect and display. Consider using a fixative spray to set your drawing and prevent smudging over time. Once it's dry, your drum drawing using the smudging technique is ready for display. Remember to practice and experiment with the smudging technique to find the right balance of light and shadow for your drum drawing. The end. Thank you.